Hello and welcome to the Gainsborough studio here, home of Felixstowe TV. For the time being, soon we may well be relocating near to the seafront, though we might be going into the cellar. Nobody quite knows yet. Exciting days ahead for the Felixstowe Media Centre, located at the top of Bent Hill. Today, I'm very fortunate in that we've got, now you're termed what? The artistic director? Sounds good to me, it sounds good. So what sort of responsibility does this give you? A huge amount?
Well, at the end of the, at the end of the day, I'm where the buck stops, aren't I? For everything, yes.
Oh, I
Yes,
say. Such a brave lady and so young.
Right. Oh, yes.
So your name is?
Meg Reid.
And you've lived here for?
Nearly 4 years. It'll be 4 years at the end of this month.
A relative newcomer. Because I've only been here 40 years.
Oh, I see.
And I'm still to find my way. And occasionally I still upset the locals, don't I?
Oh dear.
West Country folk occasionally can do that. And we apologise after the event. Anyway, this is, hopefully you can see that, Ish will put this up at the tail of, and hopefully with your consent we could publish the programme, could we not?
Yes,
put that
absolutely.
on so folks
Please
are
do.
aware,
Yes,
you know.
please do.
And what we try to do is to split it into Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
So folks know what's on which day, because like you with the classic cars, you can think it's the Monday, but it's actually the Sunday.
Exactly.
Is that true?
That's true. I have to say one thing about this. I'm duty bound. One of my responsibilities is that we have Arts Council funding.
You do, don't you?
We do. And one of my responsibilities is that
It
it
goes
should
on
be
there.
on there, which it is on our programme.
But not on that.
But you've kindly got that.
Yeah, I created this, I'm afraid.
It's very
so
well
any
done. It's
errors, and I
excellently done.
apologise. To who? The Art Council of England.
It's all right now we've mentioned them.
Oh right. Well, I
Okay,
thought that they'd ceased funding small bits because they've changed their funding
They
policy
are
majorly, haven't they?
extremely difficult to get funding. You have
Yeah.
to.
Well, they've been cut back like a lot of
Yeah.
things. I mean,
It's amazing
Heritage
you
England.
got it.
So many things have been cut
Yeah.
back, and it's really good on your inside page, seeing that you've got the Felixstowe Chamber of Commerce,
They're
East
very
Anglia
supportive.
Daily Times, Suffolk, CTS Connect, Jacoman, Seaport, the Orwell Hotel, Suffolk Coastal District Council. This one I love, the Felixstowe Wine Appreciation Society. I didn't even know they existed.
And they're supporting the Children's Festival as
Well, I
so
saw
that's-
that. I thought that perhaps wasn't quite the thing. The Polish Cultural Institute of London. Now that's rather sweet. And Kingsfleet Wealth. So hopefully we'll go down to Kingsfleet and see that they're there and
Yeah.
very wealthy. So it's quite nice to see that you've got a significant number of supporters into.
And supporters who've come from previous years as well, because
Yeah. Because this is your third year.
this is our third year. Yeah.
Right.
CTS is new, but the others are all from previous
And
years.
of course we must say supported by Arts Council
We must.
England. Just to get the point across. That
Absolutely. It's very fierce. They have pages and pages of
of regulation.
guidelines
Yeah.
about how they're, if you're putting their logo on the website or you're putting their logo on social media, exactly how it has to be
Yeah.
put and everything. So,
Well, we were very fortunate some years ago in getting funding from the
Yeah.
Heritage Lottery Fund,
yeah.
and I think that was a similar requirement that you had to give, and rightly
It's
so, because in our
understandable,
case
yeah.
we couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah.
So thank you, Heritage Lottery Fund, and who is it? The Arts Council of England for stepping up to the plate in our struggling East Coast resort
Exactly.
here. But it won't be on this particular date, will it? I mean, the 27th to the 28th of June,
Yeah.
it will be buzzing.
We hope
And it
so.
will be buzzing all over the place.
We hope so.
So, I don't think we can go through all of the authors, but one, and this is where I met you recently, was Ruth Dugdale's. She is, what, number 2 on your list on the Saturday, 10 to 11
Yeah.
at the Orwell. And she's being very generous with her time, isn't she?
Cheers.
She's only a £3.50 session to sit in on. Well done, Ruth, that's good of you. But I thought she had another book coming out.
Well, she
She's
has.
got the Humber Boy B,
She's-
hasn't she?
Yes, that's what she's going to talk about is Humber Boy B.
Oh, right.
She did mention another book, but we
October, I
haven't.
thought she
Yeah,
said.
that's.
So there wouldn't be
I
any
mean, I
early
guess
releases.
No, but
No.
I guess because this one is our festival read, so we've had a number of
Oh, good.
we've
Oh,
had
I
a
might,
number of
I'll
book
get on with
clubs.
it then.
Yeah,
Find some
definitely.
time to read it. So that's Humber Boy be, and is it being sold in our local bookshop?
It will be, because they're also dealing with some of our ticket sales, so Stillwater Books should have it.
Because before Ruth went back to Luxembourg, I did go and interview her on this particular. In fact, you should have a look at it. It was an exciting interview, and we did suggest that she went there and did a little display. Whether she had time or not, I don't know.
Well,
I'll go see her mum, see what she says.
It has been promoted a lot through the library, because they've got, I think it's 6 reading groups who've had it as their monthly read, as it were.
Okay.
So they should be at the festival talking about it. Plus, you don't have to have read it to come to any of the talks.
No, but you've got a couple of months to read it, obtain it and read it.
Absolutely.
I mean, so crack on, support one of our local writers, which is lovely to see. And I see Jacquemines are in there supporting Esther Freud, and we're interesting.
Very interesting. Yes, I actually heard her doing this talk in Edinburgh last August.
Oh, right.
It is, you'll be really intrigued. She starts off talking about a house she bought in Warbleswick.
Yes.
And the people who left the house left everything in it, and they meant everything, like all the drawers were full of papers.
Oh, yes.
They asked permission to leave stuff, but she didn't, I don't think she realised quite
how
how
much.
stuff they meant.
Well,
and the house was haunted, so I'm not going to tell you any
no,
more.
that's enough. So you
tells
got that.
a good story about it.
Yes, that would be good to see. Now, concessionary for that is a £5, and full rate is £7. So.
Most things are 7 and 5, or some are 5 and 4.
Oh, right, yeah. So they need the programme, but hopefully we can put this off at some point, and that would help. Then you've got various things, and what I'm astounded, well, not astounded, I shouldn't be, should I? Terry White is coming. But he's not talking about prisons and incarceration and whatever, he's actually talking about a comic novel that he seems to have written, and it's called The Voyage of the Golden Handshake.
Yes.
Actually, there's a huge amount in the handshake, particularly with Arabs, etc., because it's normally a complete clutch.
Yeah.
And one of them is to ensure that as you're holding their hands, they can't stab you, because you do both.
Yeah.
And if they're, that's just a tip. If you do wander off into the Middle East, make sure you shake both hands at the same time. But no, he's had a fascinating life, hasn't he? And he lives at Bury, doesn't he?
He lives in Suffolk, in that sort of area.
Yeah.
So his publicist.
That's a catch for you, isn't it?
Well, his publicist actually approached us to say, would we be interested?
Well,
and at that stage, I fully programmed virtually, but of course I said yes.
Oh, wow. And I see, so what's the King's Fleet Wealth? Are they sponsoring it, are they?
What happens is, if firms are kind enough to sponsor, we have different packages for different levels of sponsorship, basically. Yeah. So on one particular level, if they're kind enough to sponsor, they pick an event. When King's Fleet, they've decided to pick 2.
Right.
They sponsor a bit more and have picked 2.
Right.
Which their logo goes on that particular event.
Oh, right,
that's
with you.
That's
okay. So for next year, if you want to promote your corporate image of being an interested, caring and community-minded business, you're the lady to talk to.
Absolutely. Yes.
And all the detail will be everywhere, running up to, and hopefully we can do a promo for you in the new premises.
That would be good.
That could be good.
Yeah, thank you.
We did it for the pop-up choir recently, and it seemed to have some effect. Now, over the page, and we're still only on Saturday, it's Meet the Publishers. Now, there's undoubtedly, I'm continually told by everybody, there's at least one book in every walking human being, I'm told.
Well, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Yes.
How true it might be, I don't know. But there is an opportunity during the lunch hour, sort of 1 till 2, in His Lordship's library, to meet the publishers.
2 very different publishers, in fact.
So that could be an interesting pointer if you worked seriously and you didn't want to do vanity publishing, but you actually wanted.
Yeah, and we've got a writer, Felixstowe writer Jeanette Hewitt is actually interviewing them.
Oh, good.
So she's going to be asking the right questions, isn't she?
Yeah, well, that's what you need.
A writer's perspective.
Yes.
And Alexander Pringle is from Bloomsbury, which is obviously an enormous publisher of every kind of genre, and as well as all the imprints. And then Patricia Borlenghi has got a much smaller independent publisher, the Patrician Press. So, and she's quite local as well, so that's a very interesting sort of difference between the huge publisher, huge, very commercial publisher, and
the small intimate one, and do the one-off. Because I need an historic publisher. I need to be getting on and doing my opus on Martello Towers in the Napoleonic period.
Bloomsbury publishes everything, don't they?
Yeah, I know they do, but I've got to live long enough to do it now, and life is cracking on. Now, what did I get? I underlined this. Oh, the Crete and the kidnap. Now, that was a fascinating sort of episode within the war, wasn't it? At that time, I've read a couple of books, and yes, if I'm spared, I might try to get to that.
Oh, do get to that?
Yeah, it looks very interesting. Rick Stroud. So, I don't know him actually. I've not read him before, so I don't know what his work is, but it looks interesting.
He's another Bloomsbury writer.
Oh, right.
Bloomsbury.
Uh-huh.
We've had quite a strong connection with Bloomsbury throughout the 3 festivals. Esther Foyt's Bloomsbury as well.
Yes.
So we got him. They sort of approached us and said, would we be interested?
Yeah, nice.
But I noticed that he was also, I couldn't get to it because I was at something else, but he was talking at the Cambridge Literary Festival about 3 or 4 weeks ago as well.
Right. So they can all come here and have a dip, can't they?
Yeah,
Instead of these
absolutely.
inland venues, they can come to the seaside, can't they?
Absolutely.
Now there's an interesting one here at 4 to 5, and this is The War at Home.
Where are you? Which page?
I'm on the same page.
Oh,
but
there,
at the bottom.
Cynthia Howard Eagles.
Yeah,
Yes.
that looks very interesting because, what was happening here is, I don't know, possibly underreported, because when you consider that an awful lot of women had to step up to the plate, the breadwinner, they were working, they were feeding the kids, they were on ration. It really must have been one hell of a trial.
It was a huge change.
And when you consider how people complain about, I didn't get my paper at 10 o'clock and I didn't have any electricity, and today, it really makes you reflect back on, what actually making do and mend actually means. Because we don't do it anymore. We sort of throw it away and not so good.
She's actually more famous for her Moreland Saga books, which I think go through a vast period of history.
Right, yes.
Relatively modern history. So I think people might know her
from that.
And this
do you know what's frightening me? I'm going to end up with so much reading to do after this.
Well, that's true. But they're all a good read. We only people are a good read. So you'll zest through them really fast.
And then that'll be
it.
You're trying to sell it, but it might happen. It might happen.
I thought there's one on the page before. I think it's really interesting. That's Adele Geras and Sophie Hannah.
Oh, right.
Because Sophie, she was all over the Sunday papers a few months back.
Was she?
The Christie estate have asked her to write a new Poirot book.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah. The Monogram Murder. So she's the only person they've ever
commissioned
to take Poirot and carry on
and keep him going.
Yeah.
I think the characterisation of him over I don't know how many years the Bee's been doing that now, but it's been superb. Absolutely superb.
But Sophie's talking to her mother, Adele Geras, who writes adult and children's books.
Oh, right.
So it's doubly interesting because you're going to get a sort of insight into a mother and daughter.
Yes.
And how they've both approached their writing careers and talking about the family sort of aspect of that as well.
Interesting. So, yeah. Now over the page we've got a lady who's talking about developers knocking down stuff to make way for a superstore. That's got a resonance in our town.
Leslie Glaister.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, because we've got a consented to superstore on the railway station site, haven't we? Which, but no, well, it sort of, that was the only one of 3 that was allowed, but subsequently they haven't got on with it, so they've now given consent for yet another one down at the port on Dock Gate 1. So supermarkets do have a bit of a resonance around the town.
She is.
Interesting story.
She was brought up, Leslie Glaister was brought up in Felixstowe, and I'm ashamed to say I didn't know her work until she contacted me and said that because she had a great affection for Felixstowe,
oh, right.
could she come to the festival? Now she's and a multi-award-winning author.
Right.
She was in the Edinburgh Book Fest last year, interviewed by Kirsty Walk. So
Right.
that's her kind of stature.
Right. So she
lives,
won't deign to talk to Felixstowe TV, I'm sure.
I'm sure she
How
would.
dare you?
She lives in Edinburgh.
Does she? Nice place, lovely
Yeah.
city.
But she said that she wanted to come here, so I started to read her. And I mean, she's just the most incredible writer. You can't put her books down.
Lovely.
You get through them ever so fast, but you
Right.
can't put them down.
So our library shelves might be actually groaning
You can.
afterwards, because it would make an awful lot of sense, wouldn't it, for some of this to be
Well, Leslie Glaister's,
available to us? It would be good.
I've had Leslie Glaister's Little Egypt, which is one she's talking about, and I've had Chosen was another of hers,
Oh, right.
and they're in our library already.
Oh,
so,
right.
yeah.
That's brilliant. Okay, now I see at the bottom of that page we've got a local gentleman.
You
Is
have,
it-
neighbour
is
of
it
mine, in fact.
Is he really?
He
and
is.
and he's an artist, writer, and academic, and
Yes.
he's doing. So what have you seen? What he's looking to be doing?
I have seen his work, yes, because
Right.
he's part of the Open Studios
Right.
event. So we went in and had a look at his work then. He walks between the town centre and the ferry
Yes, lovely.
every week,
Yeah.
taking photographs, and then
Right.
he's produced these beautiful books of those photographs, and superimposed on them he's got
What,
poetry,
poetry
of his
and-
own and other people's, or
That
saying
fits
whatever.
whatever they.
Yeah.
Oh well, that
They're really
sounds
beautiful.
fascinating. Now that's the evening offer of the Saturday.
It's one of the evening offers.
What's the other
We
one?
have- Oh, the other one.
Oh, you've got a very late one, haven't you?
We've got a
Oh,
haunted
oh,
theatre
theatre
tales.
tales.
Now, can I take this opportunity to say that to our chagrin,
Yes.
we've got the wrong price on there. It's actually another of the £5 and £4 ones.
Oh, well, so
And
there.
that is very
You heard it here
rare.
first, folks. A
It was-
discounted or a so it's
It isn't
half.
discounted. It
No.
was always meant to be five,
Five
and
and-
four.
Oh, so.
But we don't have anything on the programme at 10 and 8, so I don't know where on earth it's fit this cost.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
can we say that anything that is billed as being 10 and 8 should be 5 and 4? Can we or not?
There is a workshop that's 10 and 8, just one workshop, but there's none of the fiction things at all that are
Okay.
that price.
Because that could be a deterrent, couldn't it?
It could be a
You know,
deterrent.
a
There was-
tenner a throw could, you know,
Yeah,
you
no,
could
but
buy
the-
the book and go home and read it.
The website's right, and the
Oh,
Wolsey
right.
have got the right prices, so there's, you know.
So I shan't ask to proofread this.
This was proofread about 20 times.
I know. I did, well, I've done the Heritage Open Day, and it's normally proofread by at least 4 or 5 different people, and still
It's
there'll be a
amazing,
time.
isn't it?
It is astounding,
It's
you know.
just
And you do a
astounding.
correction, and perhaps you on correct. and
Isn't it
it's not the
astounding?
easiest of tasks. You should have somebody talking about proofreading one day.
We
so-
should.
Right.
I
So
mean,
this is a biggie then. This is your 8:30 to 9:30.
and it's going to be candlelit genuinely. They all will have allowed us to have candles.
Oh, lovely.
But I met the publicist for the guy who's written this,
Right.
and she presented, you know, she had this beautiful book on the table, and I was dying to have a dip, but first of all I told her that I come from Liverpool,
Right.
and
We've all got to cross the bay.
and when I was a teenager, my
Yes.
mum and I went to everything that was on at the Playhouse Theatre in
Oh,
Liverpool.
yeah, brilliant.
We were a bit hard up because my dad had died, and we went to live. We lived at the other end of the city, so we had to get the bus miles and everything. But we
Right.
went to everything, and we could only afford to go in the very, very back row of the balcony, which wasn't even proper seating, it was like a bench thing.
Yes.
The very, very back. So I told her this, and I told her how after the second interval of every play, it was difficult to hear the rest of it because there was all this clanking and clunking going on behind,
Yes, it would.
which we thought was them washing up after the interval refreshments. Then I opened the book, and I looked for the Playhouse, obviously, and I read that the ghost there is a cleaner who fell into the orchestra stores but haunts behind the back row.
where you were? How magic. Oh, this
But I was
is
so glad I told her that story before I'd opened the book,
Oh,
because
right.
otherwise it would have looked as though...
As if you were copying.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely?
Isn't that amazing though?
So do you believe in ghosts?
Well, I might do after that story.
No, I believe in a presence. There's some places you can go in and they don't feel right. And
Yeah.
It's very, very odd.
But that's what Esther, going back to the Esther Freud event, that's what she was talking about as well. As the back
There is
wall
an
of
imprint
this-
on places.
of this house, she could feel that there was something there in that house.
Phenomenal. Right, so you should give in to whatever. So that's...
oh, do you know, I can see now why that misprints happened, because it's the next event down. It is the genuine 10 and 8. The Sarah Sheridan, because she's an Edinburgh-based writer on the Society of Authors panel. Very experienced
Society
writer.
of Authors and the Collective 26, whatever that is.
And she is talking to a very small group of very committed writers. So if anybody wants a real sort of professional input into their writing, they should get.
So is what this sort of a critique of what you're doing and how you could improve it, is it?
And also how you can take it forward.
Right.
And she is genuinely the £10 and £8 one.
So she opens up for you on the Sunday then, does she? The 9:30
yes,
to 10:30. So
she's the
and
first
that's
one on
genuine.
Sunday.
So you'll have to check the pricing on this, folks. You're saying that the website is correct.
The website's correct.
Okay, so have a look at that, and if you've got to us on this media, which as you know is on the web, then obviously you do have access, and we'll put that info up for you after that. Over the page, 10 to 11. Now that's Archer's Omnibus time, so...
we've got David Archer, the actor's sister, coming to the festival.
Well, that's a nice tenuous link, I do like that. I'm afraid I've been listening to the Archers for many a long day now.
Me too, but it's gone off a bit recently, hasn't it?
Some of the lines are a bit thin, aren't they, and not credible. But I'm sure that it comes and goes, doesn't it?
It comes and goes.
You know, and
but they're bringing all the old characters back now,
yes, which I think will give it some strength. Yeah, it'll give it some strength.
I'm just wondering how they'll get Walter Gabriel back when he's dead and buried.
No, they'll have to dig him out, wouldn't they? And yes, but the storylines, when you consider how much they run through in storylines in here, it's huge, isn't it? Really, so you've got to give them credit. I mean, if Charles Dickens was with us, he would be one of them, wouldn't he?
He would be.
You know, and keeping it running along. Now, what have we got it between 10 and 11?
That's
the anniversary of World War One. Now, I really would like to see that.
That's Liz Trenner. She's a very interesting writer.
Yeah, and radio journalist to boot. She might give us some pointers, mightn't she, for Felixstowe Radio? Who knows? So that's good. That's the Puppy Factories, charity, and going on. Now we've got Patrick Gale. Not sure what that's
about. He's a West Country person.
Is he really?
He is.
One of mine.
Cornwall.
Oh, he's even far down.
He's far down.
Now, in my terms, when I'm out of it, then fine, West Country move. But when I'm there, the Devon and Cornwall across the Tamar is the home of the enemy, so it's a very strange relationship we have. I shan't say it's sort of Liverpool and Everton, but it's sort of like that.
Well, Liverpool and Manchester.
Yeah, well they are, aren't they? Even more so. Then you've got, we've got a whole stack of stuff, haven't you? It goes on.
We've got quite a lot of really interesting non-fiction things on the Sunday. We've got that Philippa Lewis, she's talking about Every Man's Castle, which is about, she's talking about, well, her book is about architecture.
Oh, I saw that.
And
yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah.
Yes, things like if you've got...
Excuse me.
Yeah. If you've got a bay window in your house or stairs up to the front door, what's the social significance of those kind of architecture?
Oh, I should go in. Yes, I should go into that,
and then,
because that fits in very well with Heritage Open Day. I mean, we try to get people. Yeah, we try to get folk to open their houses, and some have been very, very kind. Because it is, there's a bit of what's the word? Not many people are happy for folks to just walk through their house, but thank you very much for those of you that have, and hopefully there'll be a few more in the future. So that would be good, and that's 11:30 to 12:30.
And then we've got this sports journalist from the Daily Mail, 40 years on the Daily Mail sports journalism.
Can't she get treatment?
He, Brian Scoville. And
sorry, I'm over the page.
Yeah,
yes, I am, sorry. 122 that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got very...
26 books, so he's a ghostwriter.
Partly, but he's also written biographies of...
Oh, Bobby Robson, that will be...
Yeah, and the Cobbold brothers, and he's fascinating actually. He wanted to come and talk last year, and we were already 2 booked up.
Oh, right.
But he did come, and he came to the gala dinner we had, and I sat on the same table as him, so I can vouch that he's good at talking, yeah.
Excellent.
And then the sister of David Archer, the actor that I was talking about, is this Anna Bentinck, who's talking to Julia Jones about how
the
book is-
audio book. Yeah, now that's
how book is
interesting.
changed into an audio book.
Because really, it'd be quite nice if we could do that for some of our local authors on Felixstowe Radio. That would be great.
Well, Julia is.
You know.
Julia has a boat at Woodbridge, so she's not that far away. She doesn't
Right.
live here, but
Okay. Over the page. We're into the afternoon now, 2 till 3.
yes.
This is Pent-Up Jealousy's Stalk. The corridors of Broadcasting House, rich in the atmosphere of Coronation London. That's a very interesting period, isn't it?
That is a very interesting period.
That's when things started to move on the channel. I mean, I think our Elizabethan age, and we'll not know what history will make of it, but we've made some tremendous changes within the whole of the United Kingdom, haven't we? She's been a very good queen. Right, onwards. Sorry.
You've leapt over though saying who they
Have I?
are. You have.
Oh.
Because we've got Nicola Upson, who lives partly in Cornwall and partly in Cambridge.
Does she really?
She does.
She's a travelling lady.
She's a travelling lady, and she's been at the festival the first 2 years, and she's incredibly popular.
Oh, excellent.
And a real coup, we've got Jill Patton Walsh, who's sort of the queen of Golden Age crime fiction.
Is she?
Yes, she's
Lots of
coming.
ladies, aren't there?
Yeah.
It's no bad thing, but yes.
Well, Jill took the Lord Peter Wimsey books and continued writing
right.
about that
And they're
character.
good. Yes, they
They're
are
brilliant.
good. I like them.
But she also writes her own crime series based in Cambridge.
Oh, right. Well done, her. So, history is moving.
This is Sarah Sheridan again, the one we were talking about before.
Oh,
the
yes.
authors.
Yes.
And she's doing a sort of talk about women's history. We thought this was appropriate because it's the centenary of the Women's Institute, so I thought it'd be nice to have a...
Yes, and
women's history
they've got
sort of thing.
a television bit on. My wife watched it this
Yes,
Saturday. You know,
Sunday.
the WI sort of
Sunday.
under fire.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't know.
Sunday
I've been rather busy, so I didn't get to see it. But it's there now. I mean, it's great, isn't it? You can record it and it's available as and when you want to look at it, rather than we won't go there. Right. Onward.
We've got another interesting non-fiction thing here. This B. Wiley, she designed the cover.
Did she?
That's
And I
her
love
picture.
that. I love the books in the
Yeah.
in the beach hut. I think that's
Yeah,
great. And a
beach
couple of books lying on the
On the
beach.
steps.
I was surprised she didn't have a boat made of books, but. Yeah.
Well, we've got sails on our boat, isn't it? That's...
Oh, it's an open page. Yes.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
that's why I wear glasses. Crack on.
So she's going to talk about book illustration, and then I'm involved with this last one because you can see the picture there.
Oh, the cat.
That's my Mr. Pushkin, sadly deceased.
Right.
So we've got Mandy Morton, who's talking about her books, which is the #2 feline detective agency.
Oh yeah,
So all the
they're
characters
brilliant,
are
aren't they?
cats.
Yes.
So this is an aid of Felixstowe Blue Cross, and it's in memory of my cat, Mr. Pushkin, who
Oh,
was our
right.
festival cat until a few days after the festival last year,
Oh right.
when he left us rather suddenly.
Did he?
He did.
And these things happen, don't
Yes,
they?
they did.
And the Blue Cross has got its new home, hasn't it?
It's going to have one near the
Near
ski slope.
Ipswich, wasn't
Near
it?
the ski slope
Is
in
that
Ipswich, it's-
ongoing? I haven't heard much.
Well,
about
they're
it.
still in Felixstowe at the moment.
Yes, I know. I didn't know whether the site was.
They said, when I last talked to them a few weeks ago, they said it should be sort of August, September or something.
All right.
As
So
far
all
as I
those
know.
dog walkers who keep themselves fit by doing it will. It's a
Absolutely.
longish way to go, isn't it?
It
Really?
is, isn't it?
On we go. Over the page, we've got Philip Terry, who's a director for creative writing at the University of Essex.
He
So
is.
there you go. He should be
Yes.
able to get some more bodies booked in for next year, shouldn't he? One would hope. He looks as if he's doing quite a lot, doesn't it?
Well,
So
he's
he's
very,
poetry and.
yeah, he's very interesting because he's talking about the Bayeux Tapestry, but he's not talking. He's written a book about the Bayeux
Yeah.
Tapestry, but it's not about the sort of what people normally say, you know, the story in the middle of it.
No.
He's looking at the edges,
The margins,
the
yeah,
margins,
saw
and the
that.
interesting stories of the nuns who were sewing it around the margins.
Oh,
So
right.
I thought that was
Yes,
different,
very
completely
interesting.
different angle.
Right, onwards. When a murder is mad or just simply bad.
Yes, Barbara Nadell, she was at our first festival,
Ah,
and she writes, her main set of books is set in Istanbul,
right.
and the crime detection ones, but she's become very interested in what is madness and responsibility of crimes, etc. So she's doing a kind of almost like a workshop or discussion,
Right.
a bit more discussion based than the other ones where people are just presenting a book.
Right.
But talking about whether a murder is mad or just simply bad in crime fiction.
Oh, right.
And looking at how people write crime fiction.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose, certainly in murder, there's sort of the crime of passion and the response to non-premeditated. I mean, I think we can all envisage ourselves in that situation. But I mean, some murders are particularly sadistic and ununderstandable, I think. There we go, that could be interesting. Now you've got a free event on the Sunday 7 till 8.
We
Free
have.
but ticketed.
Absolutely.
That sounds exciting. And this is a bedtime story.
We've got a writing competition.
Ah, right.
And
Okay.
we have the people who come, the winner and the two runners-up
Right.
come and read their stories.
Oh, sweet.
And also there's a children's writing competition, and the prizes will be presented for that at the beginning of the event.
Right.
And they'll read their entries.
Right.
So it's it's just a chance to hear what people have
Good.
written and won.
Now that's all taking place in
That's
the
all the
Orwell Hotel, so that's very good that they're supporting you again this year. And it's a
They
superb venue.
Fabulous.
Yes, they
were
are. They've
amazing.
been very, very helpful to the town in lots of regards.
We've got our own dedicated cafe as well. We had last
Oh,
year.
have
We're
you?
going to have
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
Beautiful cakes and scones and sandwiches.
So where's the Keep Fit gym to go alongside the beautiful cakes and the beautiful... Now I see over the page we've got a number of workshops, Felixstowe Library, Felixstowe Library, Felixstowe Library.
We have.
There's comedy writing
There is.
by a gentleman, Tony Kirkwood, which looks certainly, it would be good. I mean, comedy I think is very, very difficult to do well.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
I wouldn't even attempt.
And it's got to have that little twist, isn't it? And then you've got what they're running from 11 till 1, 2 till 3,
On Saturday.
and then on the Sunday 10 till 11:30. It's going to be quite a lot of conflicts deciding which of what to
Well,
get
you know
yourself
what
to. Aren't
You know what I've done, don't you?
I've-
I've programmed 2 of my favourite events
at the same time.
at the same time.
Well, we'll have to go and
Can you believe
we'll go and film one, and then you can look at
Thank
that.
you. Oh, I'd
whatever.
love you to film one actually.
Yeah, we could try to do
We'll
that.
film
We'll
several.
have to see. Now there are other events at various other locations
Involving
over and about
cake.
the town.
Involving cake, by the way.
Oh no.
We've got 2 vintage.
No, I've got to lose weight, and
Well, you
know.
better go to our vintage tea parties.
Yes, so my wife
Saturday
went
afternoon.
the very first time in Bath Road. That one.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're,
she went.
they're at the sewing school this time.
Oh right.
And Sarah Sheridan, who did them the first year, she's coming back to talk about
Oh right.
her books again at the vintage tea parties.
Excellent. So you've got the right coach, as in right.
Yes.
That's a taster. That's a one-to-one, is it? Or
That's a one-to-one. This is a lady who actually, Jane Bailey, she came on I'm on courses to train people to be business coaches.
Oh dear.
And Jane,
Oh, right.
Jane came on one of those some while back
Yes.
and has set herself up as a successful coach, including coaching writers.
Oh, brilliant.
So she's doing
She's
it.
back,
She's
giving
doing,
it some weight.
Yeah, she's
Good
doing
on you.
half-hour sessions with people to.
Now you've got
Yeah,
something
that's
going
it.
on at the Felixstowe Ferries Sailing Club, which
We
is
have.
isn't that good down
we
there?
have a whole afternoon of sailing-related events down there. Yes.
So you've got what, somebody taking you through them?
There's going to
Performing
be, I think it's 3 different speakers
Oh right.
on from 3 o'clock till 5:30.
Very nice afternoon
Yes.
by the water.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
there's you could get your lunch either at Winkle's or the
Oh, yeah.
ferry,
Ferry Cafe.
or the carrot or the pub.
Yeah.
Well, you don't
So
do imbibe
it's,
too much.
it's well worth going, and the whole afternoon is only either £7 or £5.
That's not bad, then, is it?
It's
Now you've
not-
got an art exhibition. I take it that's going to be
That's
all the way
all-
through,
That is. When
and that's the now Ken Cuthbert's. That's the informal group. Is this which one is that one?
it's an exhibition called In the Margins
Yeah. That could
at
be.
the Orwell Hotel, because one of our themes was in the margins, hence
Yes,
the
they
Philipsstowe
picked it.
margins.
Yeah. No, that's a good touch. I
Right.
like that. And the Felixstowe Scribblers are going to be presenting
there
all
all
over the
day.
place, it would appear.
Well, not
You
all
won't be
over.
able to keep them down.
Not all over the place, but presenting a lot. They're going to be at the Orwell
Yeah.
in our cafe area,
Right.
and they're going to be popping up every hour and reading
Something.
something.
Okay. And we can say rubbish, boo or brilliant, can't we?
Between 10 and 4
Okay.
on both days.
So you've got flash fiction event, whatever that
We
may
have
be.
flash fiction, it's writing. You get a prompt.
Oh, right.
Somebody says, write about
Something.
something,
Oh,
and
right.
you have a certain amount of time and words to get writing very quickly.
Oh,
And it's not actually National Flash Fiction Day, so
really?
we're hoping
Such a
that
thing exists.
such a thing exists. So
Yeah.
we're hoping that the flash fiction written in Felixstowe will circulate around the country
Yeah,
on
no, that would
websites.
be good. And then we've got a young lady here who's looking at the Romany background and heritage,
Oh, Delaney,
and that's in various places.
she's incredibly
Yeah.
interesting.
Looks that way.
She's bringing a van and a gazebo to the
Right,
Orwell.
yes.
She'll be in the Orwell ground. She's an artist who's exhibited absolutely all over everywhere. She's
Right.
on her way to Berlin to exhibit after us. And she's going to be exhibiting her own work, but she's also got a library related to Romany culture,
Oh, right.
which she will be bringing. She's doing a lot of really interesting things. She's doing 2 talks in the Orwell as
Yes,
part
I
of the
saw
festival.
that, yeah.
She's also going to be in the Felixstowe Library, in the main part of the
Right.
library, for people to talk
So she's
to.
going to be quite exhausted at the end
She's
of
going
this
to be
2
we're
days,
going to work her
which is
very
no
hard.
bad thing. No
Yes,
bad
no,
thing.
we'll get our money's worth, I think.
Okay, then we've got a stack of children's stuff, and that
Yeah.
is in the library primarily, I think.
Yeah, there's a bit in
Nice place of
in
safety, isn't it?
the Triangle as well,
Oh,
on
right.
Saturday.
Okay.
Um,
So we've got what? A
There's-
scarf and a half, a box of socks, Stonebird, Down the Rabbit Hole, and Down the Rabbit Hole, not part 2, but one for 4 to 7 year olds, one for 8 to 11 year olds.
yeah, that's because of the 150th.
And these are sort of
anniversary.
bookable at different prices. Some needs the parent or
Yeah.
guardian and so we'll get that up at the end. And then at the end of this, you've got some decent advertising, as one would
We
expect
have.
of your sponsors. The Open Studio, I don't know what that's about. It's Let Art Draw You In. What's that?
You know, the studios are open every weekend in June.
Oh, right. Oh, we should go and do that, shouldn't we?
You should.
Yeah, we should.
There's about 11, there were 13 studios open in Felixstowe last year.
Yeah. No, it is becoming, and it's something that we should really be able to accommodate more readily. It'd be quite nice if you were part of the spa rejuvenation, and perhaps alongside the ice cream parlour we could have some stalls like they do in other places, you know, and push things. Stillwater Books you've got there.
They're selling our tickets.
Good. That's good of them. You've got Treasure Chest Books, and they're only saying they've only got 45,000 books. That's all they've got. I mean, why so few?
I don't know, it's disgraceful, isn't
And
it?
I bet the owner hasn't read them all.
Well, we'll
No,
have to go
you
and
know,
ask, won't we?
It'd be a number of lifetimes, wouldn't it? And you've got the White Horses in there, I see, under new management,
Yes.
catering for everything. And that's all good stuff. You've got various venues on the back. So, it's a superb bit of reading. We'll hope to get this up on our site, but it's up to date on yours, so it might be better that we referred to your site, wouldn't it? Because if you've got all the prices and things correct on
Yeah, it
yours,
just depends
it'd be
how.
better not to copy this, I suppose.
Well, it depends how people like to look at things, doesn't it? I mean,
Yes, well, I prefer something to hold in touch.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
I'm an analog person, I'm
Yeah.
afraid. The digital age will have to go by without me, and I shan't break my heart one little bit. It's too unsecure, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But other than that, thank you very much for coming in
Thank you.
today.
Thank you.
And nearer the time, we can do an update, can't we, if need
That would
be?
be lovely.
And we'll jump in. Now, I understand you're awaiting an event, and had it happened a little earlier, you could have joined in Princess Charlotte with a princess birthday.
Well, she was.
So it won't be. Well, it'll be soon, will it?
Well, the baby's due on the 11th.
Oh, is
My
it?
youngest daughter's second baby.
Brilliant.
But we think that she might arrive early because her little sister, who's now 22
Did.
months, arrived a couple of days early.
Right.
So
So where is she now
Googling
living?
to my phone. She's in Cambridge. She's
Oh, no, not a
she's,
million miles then.
she's a publisher, which
Is she? I'm surprised. at
Cambridge
that.
University Press. So.
Yeah, well, that'll keep her busy.
Yeah.
And they're a very understanding employer.
I hope so.
Well, now looking at the employers who are good to, particularly young mums having children, because that's currently a problem, isn't it, for ladies? Do I have children and my career doesn't, or do I forego having children and my career does? It's a bit of a, and I don't see anybody here writing about that dilemma. But next year perhaps we might have somebody.
We'll put that on the
put it on there to do. Now it'd be nice to get some more historians. Actually, that would be good. But then that's my beef. I'm sort of.
It's all right. We had Helen Rappaport last year, didn't we? But yes.
But there is so much. So the anniversaries of the Napoleonic, of the First and Second World, we've got a whole stream of them running really for the next 3 or 4 years.
It would be interesting if you email me anything you think is of relevance, if anybody does, if they email.
You might get a scribe from a quill pen that says.
I can have a scribe. I'd love a scribe from a quill pen.
So would I.
Very nice.
Thank you, my love, for coming in. That's grand, and hopefully it will go well. The weather will be perfect. Well, it was for the last year, wasn't it? It's been good. It's been good.
Yes.
So look at us again in a month's time or so, when we'll give you an update on the Felixstowe Book Festival, back for its 3rd year. Bigger, better, and in more venues. So look forward to that. Get your bookings in early. Spaces will be limited, won't they? For the very popular
Spaces
stuff.
are limited, definitely.
Yeah.
One room only takes 30, one takes 50, one takes 80, but yeah.
So we'll see, and you'll no doubt move them about if need arises.
Well, no, I can't really.
No. You can. Infinitely flexible. Okay, thank you for that. And this is Felixstowe TV at the Gainsborough Studio saying goodbye, and see you the next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.